This episode of Geniuses of Copywriting is proudly sponsored by the GaryHalbertLetter.com. In the modern world of copywriting, all roads lead to Gary Halbert, and at the GaryHalbertLetter.com you will find the free issues of his newsletter, which has inspired and helped thousands of copywriters hone their skills and become better sales writers.
Welcome to the Geniuses of Copywriting podcast, a peek into the minds and strategies of the world's greatest copywriters, marketers, and persuasion experts. And now, here's your host, Brian Casangina.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Geniuses of Copywriting podcast. It's been a little while, but we're back with a bang because I've got a very interesting special guest here today. He's a man by the name of Sean Donahoe, and I think you're going to be really excited to find out what this man knows, because he's been a marketer that I've followed for a little while. I'm pretty sure that I've bought a few things off of you, Sean, along the way. I think you used to do some stuff online. You've actually been helping business online for over 20 years. You're an investor, a consultant, stock market trader. You've worked with some of the largest companies in the world, Fortune 500 companies, venture capital firms, and all that sort of stuff. So that's really awesome. So Sean is now doing a lot of really interesting stuff, which I'd love for you to take us through some of that, Sean. So thanks for coming on the show. How are you today?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. And it's been an interesting journey over the last 23, 24 years. Certainly going from where I started, which was, you mentioned the corporate world. I used to work in the consult with a lot of businesses, the Fortune 500s, mostly in the tech sector and everything else. But I got fed up with working with a lot of corporations that didn't have the right mindset, so to speak, for what was emerging marketing, technology. And I wanted to get my hands dirty and do more of it for myself. And I would say that, different mindset clients, especially startups, that's where I kind of got more into the venture capital side of things, was working and consulting with companies that they had the product, but they didn't have the marketing. They didn't have the connection between their end user client and the amazing products they had. So a lot of these venture capital companies would bring me in to kind of assess the business, which is where my kind of superpower is a systems and processes guy, and then figuring out, okay, how do we get this out to the masses? How do we build the business? How do we get the messaging, congruency? So a lot of that is, I would say, my speciality. And then taking that from the finance side, certainly is my personal passion. So it's kind of been an eclectic or epileptic mix over the years, but it's certainly been a journey. So yeah, where do you want to start? And we can fire anything at me, and let's see where we go.
So, as word on the street would have it, you came to the United States with about $5 in your pocket, half a suitcase, and it didn't take you long to build up an empire through your sheer guts and determination, unstoppable will. So, I'm really interested how you got started, because there's a lot of us out there who even if we haven't actually traveled halfway across the world, we're starting out without a lot of resources. So that kind of thing is of really interest to a lot of people listening.
Yeah, so I'll kind of jump in the DeLorean, hit 88, and go back in time a little bit. When I came across here, funnily enough, I was having a complete business failure in the UK. At that time, I had a fiance who ran up a huge amount of credit card debt. I had a successful business, but it was one contract away from complete failure. And that's when I found out that local government had a lot more attorneys than I did. So I got into a contract, which was that I over leveraged myself, and then they backed out of a contract, which was signed. and it destroyed me. Literally filed bankruptcy. I lost everything, and then found out my fiance at the time was cheating on me and had run up huge debt. So basically, I had to start from scratch. I lost everything. I paid off everything I could, and I was left with basically just very little left. But I came across to the US, managed to get together a little bit for a plane ticket by some hard work. I was running 3 jobs and kind of hard life reset. But I came across to the United States. And,
the land of opportunity.
Well, it was a vacation to start with, but also I just needed to clear my head. And then I'm in North Carolina, meeting my very interesting lady, shall we say. It's 2:00 in the morning. I'm playing volleyball with a whole load of cute American Southern chicks, driving a Mustang, wakeboarding on a lake. And I'm like, what the hell have I been doing with my life for the last 20 years? So I went back, settled things up, and said, you know what, to hell with this. I need a fresh start. I'm going to do it in America. So literally packed what little, sold off everything I had left, put what little I had left in a half a suitcase, literally got an offer to work in the US. I had, when I got off the plane, I had $5 to my name. But the one thing that no one can take, and this is the same for anyone listening out there, the one thing that no one can take away from you is your knowledge and your determination. And that was really the wealth I still had. Nothing was going to stop me. So when I hit the ground running, I leveraged, worked my ass off in a couple of jobs. I started a consultancy firm on the side, which was restarting what I had done in the in the UK. But I grew that. I took what knowledge I had, leveraged it, increased my prices a lot because, hey, this is America, you can do that. I positioned myself at a higher level than everyone else and proved that I was worth that extra fee. And doing that, freelancing, consulting, and everything else, grew a reputation, grew a brand, built that brand, started scaling, finding new opportunities, and literally the rest is kind of history. It all grew from that determination of what was in my head and making the best of a situation and growing from there. And it was really just go from strength to strength from there. I got very lucky, don't get me wrong. It's not all pure skill. You take a few risks, you make calculated decisions, but if you're confident in yourself and grow that, know your skill and know your worth, then you can make things happen. And that really was, I would say, at the beginning of this whole internet marketing thing, which is kind of a misnomer because any marketing is internet based now. But it was at the formation of a lot of that, and a lot of the opportunities that were coming in e-commerce, early e-commerce back in the early 2000s, and a lot of, hey, this new technology, hey, we can take payments online, hey, we can do this, hey, we can do that, oh, direct copy works, oh my god, what's this, I can open up a paid account, I can pay to have my message in front of people, oh my god, I'm making more money than I'm spending, that's great, let's do it again, oh my god, look at Google, I can spend $1 here, make $3 back, how can we keep doing that, and all those different opportunities that really paved the way for where we are today.
Yeah, and you mentioned a couple of really interesting things there, not just your determination, but also your knowledge and skill. And Dan Kennedy talks about the biggest asset you have is your ability to produce, and that's especially relevant in tough times. And they're talking about recessions at the moment and stuff like that. And you certainly didn't land in the US with a pile of money, so that's really important for a lot of budding entrepreneurs out there who have a lot of determination, but that they don't have a lot of cash resources, say, to run ads. So I always tell them, if you can keep growing your ability to produce and to do work that pays well, that's really a key to success in any field.
Absolutely. I mean, one thing, just to give you context, when I came to this country, like I said, I was consulting in the tech sector, but this was at the time of the dot-com crash.
Yeah.
Okay, so the economy took a dive. Certainly the stock markets took a massive dive. Businesses were struggling. Suddenly, capital was not flowing as well as it should. But the one thing that was growing was the need for technology. At this time, I was doing a lot of technology consulting, and again, money was tight, money was hard. But if you have something where you can prove, and this is one thing that I hammer into a lot of students and my clients, is people do not buy products. They buy outcomes. They buy results. They buy solutions to problems. They don't care. They don't give a damn about the product or the service. They don't care about the mechanism, the engine in the car. They just care that the car is going to get them to the destination. And that destination is the outcome they need. And if you are the best vehicle to get there, the rest is irrelevant. That's just semantics at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that very early in my career, I took to heart as a, when you start talking about how you're going to get someone to that destination, their eyes glaze over because that's not relative to them. And this is part of messaging and copy and everything else but when they understand what is beyond that destination, what is the outcome, how are things going to be better, how you're going to relieve the pain that they're currently suffering, and the frustrations, the things that are costing them money in their business or causing them literal stress and everything else. If you can get them past that and see that, hey, on the other side, it's all nice sunshine, rainbows, unicorns, farting Skittles, and all this kind of stuff. That's what they're investing in. That's what they're buying in. And that really allowed me to charge more because I talked to that. And it also allowed me to get more contracts in a difficult economy when I was going and rocking and rolling.
Yeah, exactly right. Like I recently got new tires for the car, and I went in the shop, and the guy's talking about all the belts and the radial belts and the tread pattern and what all the numbers on the side of the tire mean. And I just ended up asking him, look, will this tire keep my wife safe if she gets a flat tire on the highway? And that's all I wanted to know. So
that's exactly it. Yeah. And use another example. I've got a nice off-road vehicle. Okay, is this going to be okay in the rain? Are these summer tires? What's the speed rating? Because it's a bloody fast car as well. It's okay. Okay, that's all I need to know is it's identifying the need of the customer, listen to what they're saying, and then talk to that and beyond that. Not, get off the script. This is one thing I teach my sales teams, actually, and we reiterate that a lot, is you've got to understand where the customer is, where they want to be, and then you cut the path to that. Not what you think they should be. Is you connect with their needs, their wants, their express problem, and then you dive deeper to find out, okay, is what we do right for them, or if not, point them in the right direction. Yeah.
And you've done that, obviously, many times over the last 20 years. And if we go back, I don't know how long ago it was. I'm pretty sure that that I bought some early internet marketing products off of you, possibly on the Warrior Forum.
Oh my God, that's going back in history. Yes, now this is a funny story. I came across the Warrior Forum by accident. But I had a lot of clients, and this was what was really, I guess it's what got me out of the corporate sector, is I got so frustrated with a lot of my corporate clients, especially repeating the same things again and again, talking to the same processes, the same systems. And one of my clients said to me, you should create a course around this and sell it to other businesses because this is invaluable. And it was at that time I was thinking, it's actually not a bad idea because I am saying the same stuff again and again. So I went to go do some research. I'm like, well, who's doing courses on this? And I think it was one of those random Google searches that made me stumble across the Warrior Forum. And I thought, well, this is interesting. So I put together an ebook at the time. Funnily enough, I was doing a little bit of training, and I'd started writing a book on this. So I created an ebook and put it up, $20, and people bought it. I'm like, well, shit, okay, let's make it a bit bigger. Let's take it and now add some videos to it and charge more. Okay, that's working. And that really was, it was an experiment, but a very bloody profitable one.
Yeah.
And then back in those days, you could boost your Warrior Forum post. And I was doing this like 5 times a day, and I was making money hand over fist. I'm like, well, Jesus, okay. But I saw a lot of stuff out there that just honestly was total shit, if I may use that. And I was just like, man, I could do way better than this. This is absolute bollocks. And I started doing that, and very quickly realized I'm onto something here. And so ever since then, I've been creating software. I have a software company. I was creating info products, specifically about marketing and special techniques that we used, not just for our clients, but for ourselves as well. And I was always one to say, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what I do. This is what I have done. And it wasn't just a lot of, like a lot of people, they put in theories or they go rehash someone else's content. It's like, look, this is what I'm doing right now. This is what's working for me. And now that it's working for me, let me show you how I did it, or I'm doing it, and the result. And that's really been the cornerstone of a lot of our info products over the years. Even today, I mean, right now we're focused on a lot of financial products, and I've been a stock market trader since 1999. Literally got involved with it right at the beginning of the .com crash. So that wasn't
perfect timing
at the start. But it set me on a path of learning and doing it. And every dollar I make, I put some into the markets. And I've done that for over 23 years. Well, guess what? I teach other people how to do that based on what I've done and what I'm doing right now in not just stocks, options, crypto, but I also bring to that a lot of the business mindset that I've developed over the last 20 plus years, and how that applies to stocks, options, futures, crypto, and everything else. Because I bring that production line process to everything, it allows people to go, oh, holy crap, now I can do that. And that's one of the things that in every training program I've created, which funnily enough starts with just one headline and 6 bullets. And maybe we'll get into that in a few moments.
Yeah.
But that, as long as I can connect a message to and simplify what I do down that anyone can learn and approach it, you've got a sale. And the thing is that a lot of people, they get too bogged down on their products and, hey, look at me, how wonderful I am, rather than simplifying it down, keeping it so that people can pick up what you do and actually apply it. And that really is what's allowed me to separate, I think, and I feel myself from a lot of people in this industry, is taking complex things, making them simple and accessible. And when you do that, people will pay a premium for that shortcut, for that solution, for that, again, outcome and result. And when they can see themselves doing it and they can actually prove it to themselves, amazing things can happen.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm really interested in the there's so much to unpack from that, so it's obviously a lot of stuff.
I kind of set that one up for you a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, but tell me about the headline of 6 bullets.
All right. So I'm going to give you I would say my biggest bloody secret. I'm doing this because Brian and I go back a long way now, and it was kind of like, all right, if I was going to talk about one thing, this would be it. So when I create an offer, the first thing, and this is any offer, okay? It could be an ebook, it could be a course, it could be a full-on coaching program, high-ticket mastermind, it doesn't matter. It all starts with one headline and 6 bullets. Now, the reason for that is a lot of people create an offer first or create a product, and then they try and figure out how to sell it. To me, That's completely the wrong way. And I've worked with so many businesses over the years that they create the offer they think they should create, but they don't know if the market's going to buy it. They haven't, they've got an idea of what should be, but reality usually comes up and smacks them in the mouth. So here's what I do first. I don't even create the product. I create a promise, an offer. So here's how it works. I create a headline. It could be as simple, and I call it TRPO, which is target market, the result, the pain, and the outcome. I help, and this, if you want to write this down, write it down. I help target market get or do result without pain, whatever that may be, so that desired outcome. What is the outcome? Now, you can then take that, obviously target market, it could be like, I help, or how to, get result, however you want to spin it. I'll give you an example. How single mums can lose 20 pounds in the next 30 days without crazy diets, there's the pain, or exercising, so that you can live your best life and still have time to live. Now, busy, single mums are hyper busy. You unpack that a little bit. Single mums is the target market. They want a result, lose 20 pounds in the next 30 days safely. Let's put, a little qualifier on that, which is one of the result they want. So the pain point is without crazy diets or starving, you can obviously use smart copy phrases here, or exercising, which again, one of the big concerns is I don't have time to exercise. I don't want to do crazy starvation diets because I'm always hungry. That hurts. So that you can have the best, your best body and, actually have time to live, because that's one of the things. They want to have more time. They want to be healthy. Blah, blah, blah. So that is a promise. That's a headline or hook and everything else all in one. Now you can simplify that. The whole point of that is you want to connect on those 4 check boxes that are inside people's heads. We can talk about the mammalian brain, the human brain, and the reptilian brain, and the Freudian model and all the rest of it. Skip that bullshit for right now. It doesn't matter. You want to connect those 4 check boxes in their head. Yeah. Those are the concerns, the fears, the desires, all in one thing. But then write 6 bullets. Those 6 bullets back up your headline. Bullets are like mini headlines, but they're extra connectors. They join the dots of those check boxes in your prospect's mind. So it could be, for example, how you can trade the markets in 30 minutes a day without being glued to the screen. That's a mini headline in itself. Yeah. But that can be an extra promise. And you start writing down 6 of those. Now, here's the cool thing. Those bullets all back up your initial promise, but they create attention, interest, desire, and start preceding an action, which is sign up for this, go here, click here, whatever that action is. But the idea here is that headline and those 6 bullets also become your offer and product. Now, what I will do is I will do a video and it'll have that headline and I will talk about those 6 bullets. Hey, I've got a 3-day boot camp coming up where we're going to be showing you, reiterate the headline. This is a limited, boot camp. We're only going to be allowing X number of people in, and here's what we're going to be doing. And then I go through each bullet, and each bullet I'll expand upon. Maybe each bullet has 3 sub bullets. Now, the reason for this is, first of all, the mind works in the power of 3. If you ever recite a phone number, usually people do it in batches of 3. Yeah. Psychologically, it sits in our head. But by writing 6 bullets, each with 3 sub-bullets, things that you're going to talk about, guess what? You've just created your course. Because each bullet now can be the title. If you go through it sequentially of how you're going to deliver on that promise, you can then turn it into, a module title. Yeah. And then those 3 things are the content of your course. Now, here's the thing. Once you've got that, take 2 bullets and the 3 items, and guess what? You've got day 1 of the first 2 bullets, day 2 of the second 2 bullets, day 3 of the last 3. And you don't have to create anything in advance. You're just making that promise. And then here's the thing, put a buy button. Sign up right now. It's discounted for the first 20 people who join. And then once those people have joined, we're closing the doors. But what you're doing is, first of all, you can test your message. Are people willing to vote on that message with actual dollars, whipping out their credit card? And you have an opportunity to record, first of all, practice actually delivering and teaching that program. But also you've got the recordings. Guess what? You've got your future content and module right there. Great. You've got your entire course recorded. Now, when I do this, I'll take 3 days, schedule it out, put that buy button up. It's all done. It's all dusted. It's all good. I will, if people buy, I will actually then execute that masterclass and boom, record it, produce it, slice it up. Guess what? Each module now has 3 content sections. Boom, I slice those up into lessons for each module, put it in a members area. And now that I've actually got data, I know people are buying it, they also become my initial ambassadors for the program. So we put them in a community. Guess what? There's a bonus. And the way I always like to add value to things is what makes it faster, better, and easier. So phase 1 is done. I've got I've already done the masterclass. I've already got proven people are willing to pay. I'll survey my audience. What did they like? What didn't they like? What could be improved upon? What wasn't good? Well, guess what? If I need to re-record it, I've already had a trial run. I will expand upon it with that feedback, make it even better, but I'll give the original masterclass away as a bonus. I've already got an extra value add-on right there. And then I'll add things like, support the community, making, cheat sheets, any resources, any software I can add to it. And that will create a much larger offer. But I know I've got the basis of congruency. And this is the key thing. The promise I made that got the sale is actually fully delivered on by the product. The product is designed to meet the promise, the offer. If that offer connects, the promise is delivered on. I'm not trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, which a lot of people do with their products. They'll build a product, they'll build that, and then try and find a way to sell it and hope they can. And then they're continuously in fix mode. I want to make sure that I make a promise and I deliver on it, and I build the offer around that promise. That way, all my ads are already done, because guess what? Each one of those bullets is an ad by itself.
Exactly.
The headline, I can write different variances on that headline and deliver on it. All the emails, well, guess what? I'm very clear on my messaging. All my emails, all my marketing, all my social media, it's based around those 6 bloody bullets and that headline.
Yeah, very easy.
Everything is already done.
Yeah.
And that really makes all the difference in the world. Now, I can go further, but I want to give you, I get on my soapbox with this, but I'll give you a chance to pick some of that.
I think we're all listening and scribbling down notes here, because I think that's a really smart way of creating a course where people are always saying, how do I create this course? What do I put in it? And they're always struggling to give birth to these courses, which which have things in there that they think maybe should be in there. A lot of stuff added on the fly and what they think, and then as you say, they think to themselves, how can I sell this? Whereas doing it your way, it's the other way around, and it's about 1 million times easier.
It really is. And let me just kind of back up. If you want to write, if you're listening and you want to write this down, here's how I do it. If you want to take a process, whatever your process is, first of all, start with an introduction. The introduction gives you an overview or a repetition of what you're going to cover and the outcome by the end of the program. Then you break down your process into 6 pieces. Do it that way. And then, it's like do this first, do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. And then at the end, I never terminate the program. The last section, so if you'll end up with 8 modules. This is the idea. The last section is what's next.
Yeah.
Guess what? That's the elevation to maybe a back-end coaching program, group coaching, one-on-one consulting. There's always an upsell or another level. And the way I always look at it is, where are you now? Where do you want to be? And when we get you there, what's next? Always look for that next level. And by the time you've done that, you've got your introduction, you've got your 6 steps, and the what's next. Each one of those 6 steps, turn that into a bullet, and you've already got your step and then 3 sub-steps. You've just mapped out your entire program and created the copy around that, and boom, boom, boom. And then at the end of that, you can find out, okay, well, that's all great, but now what can make this even better is the faster, better, easier. Faster could be, faster could be a accelerator program, or a cheat sheet, or a process map, or a quick start. How can you get there literally in 30 minutes? Something like that. Oh, guess what? People see that, they connect with that, and like, okay, well, I can do that. We do that. We actually split our training up into 3 pieces. We have a getting started program, which is basically, all the tools you need, resources, and it's basically get up and running. That's our getting started. Then we have our basics, which is the course, the 8 modules that I just mentioned. And then by the time I've done the masterclass, I always think, well, what can make this even better? How can I go deeper? So surprisingly, we have a going deeper, which can be little snippets, little videos that take one topic, or where there's been need clarification, or there's an amplifier. And we'll just do that ad hoc based on feedback or what I think after the fact could make it even better. And there you go. There's your faster, better, easier. The better is the going deeper. And then the easier is things like cheat sheets, software that makes things, simplifies things. Like for our finance stuff, we have software that analyzes any chart. So you don't have to look at the charts and everything else. It kind of just color codes it here. And
it's also faster.
Off you go.
Easier and faster. Software.
Exactly. And there's blends between all of them. And the cool thing is what people see is a full platter of everything they need to do to reach that promise that you made them. And wherever their brain is, whatever their struggle point is, you've cast a wide net to give them the 4 wheels, the engine, and the vehicle that's going to get them where they need to go. And that really is how we built $1 million and 7, 8, 9-figure businesses, is based just on all of that.
Yeah, that's how you come up with an irresistible offer, put all that together, and then it becomes an absolute no-brainer to say yes.
Absolutely. And that's what you want to do, is you want to give them a reason to say yes. Now, I'm in the finance sector mostly right now, and there is a lot of skepticism. There's a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of, I am always on my Facebook ads and YouTube ads. I'm having to combat every comment, because the people who've come before us have created such a bad reputation.
Yeah.
And there's so much BS that we're kind of like the no BS zone. We it's like, no, this is what I've done for the last 23 years, and prove it to yourself. And I mean, the skepticism, the noise, the bullshit in this sector is insane. So we are in one of the toughest sectors to be in. But reforging that, when people go through our programs and they see that they actually get past their skepticism to actually watch the training and the message, because we do a lot of webinars, people are like, holy crap, this actually really makes sense. This guy's bloody legit. And, even if you are in a super competitive or noisy market, you're going to deal with that. But if you have your messaging down, if you connect with a lot of their objections, the things that stop them taking action or even getting past their own bullshit and barriers.
Yeah.
If you have that really, really crystal clear in your front end messaging, your headline, and your 6 bullets, then people are going to give you more of a chance to back up what you say. But if there's incongruency in your messaging and presentation, your sales material, people pick up on that real fast, which is why congruency across the board and building your offer around your promise is so bloody important. It will, I mean, right now, we're in an industry where we expected to be break even within 12 months on ad spend, and we did it within 2 weeks. We're literally, I think the last report I got from a new offer that we launched is we're at 3.9 ROAS. And it's worrying us a little bit because we shouldn't be that successful, but it is the congruence that, and a lot of other stuff that we do, which is, conversion secrets and what have you. But I really put a lot of it down as to the congruency of messaging.
Yeah. And it's like, this is one of the real big benefits of doing it this way and having your message first and then creating the product from that. It's like John Carlton always said, the best marketing actually comes from a great product. So if your product lives up to the marketing message perfectly, it's just, and if you follow this process the way you just described, it's going to, there's not only does it almost sell itself, but refunds are going to be very low because again, the people are going to get what they signed up for, and there's going to be congruency with between what your promise is and what the actual product is delivered, which I think you touched on that as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It's the one thing I say a lot to again clients, and it's something I've reiterated many times in sales over the years, is your offer gets the sale, your product stops the refunds.
Yeah.
Because in the marketing world and internet world, we have virtual products. They can't take it off the shelf, hold it in their hands. What they're doing is they're going off the basis of your word and your promise, and then they are committing cash to then receive the product. If your product doesn't meet up to demands, well, your refunds and chargebacks are going to go through the roof. So if your product delivers on the promise, or they see that there is a path forward, guess what? Your refunds are going to be astronomically low. I mean, our refund rate right now is 0.5%. And I mean, I know, Dan Kennedy says, hey, if you're not at 10% refund rate, you're doing something wrong. To me, that's lost revenue. I don't like that. But with congruency, I really want to make sure that we're delivering on our promise, because if we're not, that's my failure. And I refuse to not do something that, not back up a promise with actual success and what have you. Now, if people struggle to get the results, if people are struggling to implement, well, that just means I've got to change the training or add something which fixes that. But that should all be done up front once I'm backing up that promise. If you do that, then boom, you're good to go. And I'm on like one product, we launched it September last year, and we did it low key internally and what have you, then prove that out and everything else. We did a lot of private affiliate sales. We started ramping up paid traffic, and we're in multiple 7 figures now. But a lot of that is continuous iterations and refinement. We don't start perfect copy out of the gate. What we do is we prove the messaging connects. And if it isn't, well, we'll work with it until we've got something that does connect. But we are always doing different iterations. The environment changes, like we're in the finance sector, the stock market's always in change. There's always something going on. We'll integrate that into messaging. We're on version 13 of our webinar, for example. We're always refining. We're always tweaking and changing and twisting. We're always conscious of optimization. It doesn't happen perfect out of the gate, but if you have people who vote with dollars, that's the absolute best. It's the only fucking KPI that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse my accent in French again. So
yeah, amazing. Yeah, that's that's what it all boils down to, doesn't it? I mean, people count website visits and opt-ins as success KPIs, but it's not until somebody actually hands over their hard-earned cash for your product that that you know for certain that people want it.
yeah, we are very data driven. I mean, that's one thing we're obsessive with. My business partner, and well, I'll give Dan, my business partner in Trade Canyon, full credit for this. We have built, or he has built, one of the absolute best tracking systems that is all custom done from the ground up. We're not using anything really off the shelf because nothing meets our specific needs. It's taken months of building, working with all the APIs we want to, and we've got a great development team. But yeah, we can break down exactly where every dollar's come from. We can tell you exactly who had what for breakfast and whether they like to soap or not. You know, we know everything about our customers, and we are obsessed with data. But at the end of the day, if you're making more money than you're losing, then, or, you know, you're spending, then that really is the big measurement. Knowing where your money is, knowing where it's coming from, yeah, that's a good thing to know, because you can then focus on where to grow, where to scale, where to cut. Because I'm always one for, if it's not profitable, cut it.
Yeah.
You know, and this is one thing that, funnily enough, Dan and I have been going back and forth on, because he's very much of the mindset of, if it's still making money and still profitable, keep it. You know, it's just that. And so it's funny, because I've got someone who's even more data driven than I am, which is an unusual thing. And we go back and forth on that. And I'll be honest, the things that we're doing right now, 2 years ago, I wouldn't even think were possible. But I'll give you a 7-up here to quote a buddy of mine. One thing we do is we will create 10 different headlines, 10 different angles to cast a wide net. And here's why. This is where we really level things up. If we have a webinar and it has one title, 6 bullets, yada, yada, all this kind of stuff, great. But that may not connect with everyone. So what we do is, if they don't attend or they don't buy or what have you, mostly for non-attendees, because when you've got webinars, you'll have, like, you know, however many percent don't, you know, sign up but don't turn up. You've got you've got a percentage there. We send them to another webinar with a different title, different angle, different bullets, just a couple of weeks later. Hey, we got this brand new training, which you haven't seen. It's the same freaking one, but it's got a different headline and different angles, different bullets. And we will rewrite the bullets to suit the headline. But again, still deliver on that, because it's just a version angled to that main headline. And if that headline doesn't connect, guess what? 2 weeks later, they get another one with a new training. Hey, and it's got a different angle, different approach, different landing page. They all look completely different. But what is it? It's the same offer behind the scenes. It's the same webinar, just with a different headline. They haven't seen it, so they don't know it's the same. But that way we will have sales from that first customer up to like 90 days or even beyond, because they're going through the follow-up sequence for each one. Each one has its own individual follow-up sequence. That allows us to then really amplify the potential of every single lead all the way through. Now, I take no credit for this. This is all my business partner's Dan's idea and what he does. And, you know, when I bring my tech magic and we bring all of our best of the best marketing, amazing things can happen. But it all starts with that one freaking seed, which started from an idea on a piece of paper on the back of an envelope, one headline, 6 bullets. Everything takes off from there. But don't try and start with the end. Start with the beginning, but start with an offer, a message that you can deliver on, and make sure it bloody well sells before you spend what for us has been almost a year now of development. If I had to reverse this shit now, and start with, hey, this massive mega funnel with all this stuff and all these moving parts, spent a year building it, and it didn't freaking convert, I'd want to drag myself outside and shoot myself in the head, but I see so many people do that. They'll spend months, they'll try and be perfect before they open and pull the trigger and get things out the door. Look, build it today, fix it tomorrow. Okay. Prove it today, get dollars in the door. And then if it works, then you can commit the time and the resources needed. But yeah, don't work from the end and then hopefully sell it. Make sure it bloody well sells.
Yeah, you follow the process you've been through today. You give yourself a hell of a lot better of a chance.
Absolutely. I couldn't imagine it doing it any other way. I know lots of people have their own methodologies and systems, but yeah, this is the way that's worked best for me over the years and kept me sane, and also kept me in this industry for over 23 years.
Yeah. When a lot of people sort of drop out and you never hear from them again.
Too many people. If I could think about it, I could probably write quite an extensive list. But yeah, it is. It's funny because I still consider myself a newbie in this market, but I've been in here for almost a quarter of a century. But I'm always learning new shit, always pushing myself. Yeah. And I tell you what, as much as I sometimes hate this industry, because it does drive me nuts sometimes, like any business does, but I freaking love it as well. I love building. I love coming up with new techniques and strategies and developing stuff and just doing what people say is impossible because, well, why not?
Just show them.
Sometimes that's part of it, I will admit, but a lot of the time is just because I can.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge.
Yeah. Do you coach people in marketing and business at all?
I used to. I got out of that. Actually, funnily enough, we did have an agency. We did still, I took on 4 business clients a year, but I got burned out on that and wanted to back off. Actually, during COVID, I did a lot of reevaluation of business and life. I was getting to the stage where running 10 businesses, I was burning out. So I made a very critical and tactical decision to divest myself of all of that, focus on the finance stuff, because I can do that from anywhere in the world. In fact, very shortly, I'm going to be off to Thailand for a couple of months, renting a motorbike and literally driving all over Thailand, maybe Vietnam, Cambodia, just because I can. I've got an internet connection, a laptop. I can do, I can run my business from wherever I am in the world, going truly nomad, if you will, because I want to, and this is something that we talked a lot about and talked to a lot of clients, but I found myself falling into a trap of being hustling and grinding too much. I didn't need to, but I did find myself at a stage in life where I wanted to build the business around the life I wanted instead of cramming life around the business I had. Now, when you're starting a business, hey, you know what? You need to put your nose to the grindstone, get it working. It, has all your focus to grow and get to a certain point where you can step away. Now, in what I do, I can't step away fully. Never will be able to. And honestly, I don't want to because I enjoy what I do. But a lot of it is focused around being able to live the life I want. For example, I've got a giant RV. I travel around the country with that. I'll go out and it is like a bloody Death Star. It's huge. But I like to do that, like traveling. In fact, I'm doing that this week. I'm going to be driving to Florida and having some fun for a couple of weeks before I go to Thailand. Why? Because why the hell not? I've got Starlink, Elon Musk's satellite system on there. I've got multiple hotspots. I've got internet connections wherever I am in the country. I've got my laptop and mobile office, but I can then goof off and do whatever the hell I like. So that has been a new, I would say, direction for me, but it allows me to do what I want without doing the coaching and the client-based stuff, because I don't bloody need to. And honestly, like I said, you kind of get burnt out on that after a while.
Yeah.
If it's not a necessity, then why bother? And so, yeah, that's why we've, over the last 12 months, switched focus just to purely financial. I've divested myself of a lot of my other business interests, hard assets and soft assets, and focusing on that more than anything else, which has been refreshing, but it's also been, I have a tendency to be a workaholic. So it's been refreshing and challenging at the same time to let go
for sure.
and do this. But I love being able to share this with other people who are up and coming or at a point where they're trying to figure shit out. Because if they can get there faster by, the stuff we've talked about here, then absolutely fantastic. Then my mission is accomplished.
Yeah, for sure. And the reason why I asked about the coaching is because, just based on what you talked about here today, it's so helpful to, copywriters and marketers at all different stages throughout their journey. I know you and I talked about off air how you didn't have anything to pitch today, but I'm sort of trying to sort of hint my way into at least suggesting something like that. So I know you don't have like an offer for people today, but I'm sure people want to learn.
No offer,
more.
Just knowledge. There you go.
Yeah. So like I said, what you shared here today is amazing. I love the simplification of it all, and that's really where a lot of success comes from. I can't remember who was saying the other day. You want to find the simplification that's on the other side of complexity. So, like what most people do is, go for the complex stuff and trying to create the course from scratch without knowing that the message, and you try all that stuff when you're starting out, but then you just end up with something simple like what we talked about here today, and that ends up being the key to success. So I appreciate you sharing all that stuff.
My absolute pleasure. Like I said, I love talking about this stuff. And if it helps just one person have that light bulb moment, like, holy shit, I've been doing this wrong. Holy crap, I can do this now.
Yeah.
I can fix what I've already started, and this will help me simplify things. Then fantastic.
Yeah, I think mission accomplished there for sure. So, I really do appreciate you sharing with all that stuff with us today, Sean. So thanks for that. If anybody's watching on or anybody listening, I should say, on iTunes or whatever, I will have all the details of this up at geniusesofcopywriting.com. And I'll have Sean's page up there. You'll be able to find it. And although he has most generously offered his time and expertise, which is obviously very valuable, without having anything to offer in return, I'm sure that I could sort of twist his arm and come up with something if you want to learn more from Sean. But stay tuned for that. He's on Facebook as well, so if you want to follow him there, I'm sure he's probably maxed out in friends. But
if you want to see what we do, if you want to reverse engineer and see what we do, go to tradecanyon.com and you can go check out what we do there. You can see some of it in action, because obviously that's our main focus. Tradecanyon.com, and just go see. You can have some fun with that.
I think that's very relevant to a lot of our listeners as well, who are well beyond the newbie copywriter stage, and they're doing well, making 6 or 7 figures a year, and it's like people say, there's one thing is making money and another thing keeping it. So a good investment strategy will be valuable for a lot of people listening here. So what was it? TradeCanyon.net?
TradeCanyon.com.
TradeCanyon.com, sorry. So TradeCanyon.com. I have a link on on Sean's page on geniusesofcopywriting.com. If you're listening on iTunes, go to that page. I'll chuck a link on there, and you can see both his marketing methods and the valuable training information as well. So So, yeah, thanks again, Sean. I appreciate you spending this much time with us. I know that anybody who listened to it has found it really valuable. I know I have as well. So thanks again. We'll have to do this again real soon. But yeah, I appreciate you sharing with us.
All right. Thanks very much. Take care.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for listening to Geniuses of Copywriting with Brian Casangina. To get the full transcript and all the resources mentioned on today's show, go to www.geniusesofcopywriting.com now.